Hello, yes, very nice, very evil, very powerful. Danhausen here. Famous internet. Yes, well, I guess so. This is the internet. Famous interdimensional celebrity of some sort. And yes, Danhausen here. Tell you watching. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself, Hausen. Yes, hosted by Jeff Foxhausen and Dustin Garmenhausen and Foxworthy257 Twitch channel. Isn't that nice? Anyways, love that Danhausen. If you do not watch this, up yours.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Alan Angels, aka Five of the Dark Order, and you're watching Tell Us About Yourself, hosted by Jeff Fox and Dustin Garman.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is the 38th Jeff Foxworthy, still pushing to 40 episode of Tell Us About Yourself. You know me, of course, as TAG, True American, or the Devil's Reject, GPS, man of many personalities, I guess. I'm Dustin Garman. My co-host here is none other than Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah, man.
And our guest today is one interesting fellow, I shall say. Jeremy Steigerwald, and I'm actually gonna say that it's a little bit of surprise he's by himself. Is your like roommate at work?
Yeah, he's booked. He's in some other galaxy, bullying some other alien species about not being true luchadors.
Okay.
Because in the pandemic era, there's not a lot of live wrestling here on Earth. So he goes and makes money and then doesn't pay me rent. That's how that works.
I'd kick him out.
I can't, and he knows it.
Okay.
I mean, he is tougher.
No, he's not.
Oh. But anyway,
there's actually a backstory there that will be released at some point.
I think the true
I've been appointed to be his babysitter, basically.
I think the true friendship is, a lot of people actually say that best friends, once they become roommates, it doesn't, they don't last as friendship. I actually adore like y'all's friendship. As long as it's went, I applaud you for that.
Are you insinuating that the Lucha Maniacal Uberstar is my friend?
Maybe.
Are you insinuating that the Lucha Maniacal, we have nothing in common? I definitely never go into murderous rages, Garmin. And you better remember that. Okay, next topic.
What did I just
get
off?
Back to where we're going with this.
What did I just get off work for? But anyway, how's it going, Jeremy?
Oh, it's going. It's worktastic as it is for many. We have actually a live in-person ACCW meet coming up on Saturday. There'll only be a few of us, but it's progress. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good to sort of kind of see these locals, starting to hopefully get together. I know when they bring back some local stuff, I definitely like to, for me, I like to go to Louisville or any of those places up north, a little bit and play a little bit. But yeah, it's good to see, I know down here, Kentucky wise, it seems like our cases are slowly going down. So hopefully, we'll be in person play hopefully soon. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. This isn't the first global pandemic. It's just the first global pandemic that we've been part of. So they do end, promise.
I mean, some of us are time travelers, but yeah, still.
To be fair.
So Jeremy,
I don't tells me anyway, so that's fine.
Sorry. Maybe I'm breaking the masquerade there.
So Jeremy, I've seen you. I hadn't got to ever get a chance to meet you, but of course I was kind of curious. How long you been around this LFS?
Thank you for the sub, Ed.
Well, the person that I have to blame for being here is Tyler Breeze. So I was a subscriber of the suites. That would be Breeze, Sean Spears, and Baron Corbin.
as was
Billy.
Jeff, from just about the beginning. So they actually know my screen name. Well, Breeze and Dilly do. But when after a while, Breeze started promoting Super Show because that's when the Prince of Fashion was joining the game, and I'm like, how did you get that to work? You're in WWE and now you're in an indie wrestling game. But so I saw the Kickstarter about the same time as I was perusing Kickstarter. At the time, I had it where I would go and take a look and spend way too much money on Kickstarter. So I would look at all the new things on Kickstarter and yep. And then the FOMO, the fear of missing out, like if there was something like really cool on there. And I saw this Super Show. Oh, that looks interesting. And then I saw that Breeze was like, all right, so I'm going to do this. So I got a starter box. The starter box was the Ariel Lipstick versus Witch Hunter General starter box, the most NPE of all starter boxes. And somehow, despite that, when we played it, we ended up liking it. So played with my brother and my sister, and when we got a decent amount of cards from the Kickstarter, we said, all right, this is what we're going to do. I've got like 20 characters. We're going to draft. And we had like a draft league. It was me, my brother Henry, my sister Elizabeth, her husband John, and Lauren, our friend. And we all drafted competitors, and we had like a league. And we actually streamed this on Twitch a couple of times. And we had a federation. We had a tournament to crown an initial champion. My sister won using perfection. And then we crowned a secondary champion, which I don't even remember who won it first. I know my brother-in-law John ended up with it. And then it just sort of tailed off. And then we just stopped doing it. But that was actually my first Super Show experience. And then I went to Dragon Con. I always go to Dragon Con because I live in Atlanta. I'm right here. And my house right now, I'm in driving distance. I don't have to stay at a hotel anymore. I can just drive there in the morning, come back at night. So I had been listening in on Talk of the Universe. I was one of the people pressing, are you going to be at Dragon Con? Are you going to be at Dragon Con? Lauren and I had done a demo with Alan Hawkins, who had recently left our community, but I can't like tell this story. He's part of it. I cannot omit him from the story. And we had a lot of fun. So we got some characters together, and then at Dragon Con I went, and that was my first like genuine LFF full experience, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of stories come out of that.
Alrighty, Jeff. We got a little question in here from the
Cannoli. We got a Twitch question first, that, and then another question, and then Cannoli. So let's go through the Twitch one, which is from Evil Ed, which wants to know cheese or pickle, which I know the answer to, and it's wrong.
So my favorite food or my least favorite food? Gee, I wonder. It's cheese. It's cheese all day, every day.
Like I said, I knew it was the wrong answer, but you know, what can you do? We also have a question about whether you would like to have a rivalry with everybody, or would the Uberstar like to have a rivalry with friend Kane?
Well, there's quite a line there. So the Uberstar is currently feuding. He's got the Hollow King coming up at the next pay-per-view. He's feuding with Lama Senior. After that, he's going to try to take the ACCW general managership away from Hold the Line Harry. So there's a lot going on with the Uberstar. Right now, it would be kind of be crowbarring to get something else in there. But down the line,
so it takes a crowbar.
You know, if you want to work with the Uberstar, you're gonna have to ask him because I'm not the Uberstar.
Yeah, well, but he did ask you about
practice sites.
Practice site with everybody.
Perhaps right now I'm actually have beef with Bombada, and there's got to be another promo upcoming about that because we got to settle this trios deal. So the Italian Bombada and I, we both believe that we should be, after the Mad Custodian, the next in line to contend for that trios championship. Blah blah blah. I'm blying about it, Bombada. So we both believe that, and we're going to settle that in the ring. And not in semi uninspired Twitch comments.
Yeah,
come on, man.
And everyone definitely.
I'm a little harder than that.
You're the better trios player. So and the Cannoli, we can have him come in for his question if you'd like.
Hello there.
Hello.
Jeremy.
Yes, I've heard of that guy.
Of all time, give me your
Yes.
3 favorite male wrestlers and your 3 favorite female wrestlers.
All right. First of all, I will answer that. Bombada, I trust you. I know you're capable of much better. I cannot wait to hear it. All right, my 3 favorite male wrestlers. Roddy Piper is number 1 always. He was the man back in the day, because everybody kind of wrestled the same, but he did not. His matches were always very different, and I loved that. Number 2 is going to be Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle was incredible. Like how I don't even think that needs to be explained. Number 3 basically depends on what day you ask me, but since you asked me today, it's going to be Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to tell Dilly.
Oh, well, you tell Dilly. Dilly makes my list of my favorite 3 people to play Dead by Daylight with. No, actually, he doesn't even. Sorry, that would be Shane Wrangler, Super JJ, KK Cadillac. So he doesn't even make the top 3, but he's close. He might make the top 5.
Dilly ditch.
He does that when we're not on stream. It's not a stream gag. It's annoying.
Yeah. And then it was your 3 favorite female wrestlers.
Female. All right. Well, Asuka is. It's Asuka, and Asuka. Is that a correct answer? It's actually Asuka, Sasha Banks, and then my number 3 would probably depend on the day. But
there's like I don't know. I think there's like a really.
I'll probably Becky Lynch. But Asuka is my favorite wrestler, period, right now, male or female.
Always go
It was actually before Asuka came to the U.S. and I really saw a lot of it. It was actually Sasha Banks, and I was kind of stunned. Like I just finished watching an NXT pay-per-view, and I was like, I just realized my favorite wrestler, period, is female, and it has nothing to do with her gender. Like, she's just my favorite wrestler for the same reason that all my other favorite wrestlers were my favorite wrestler. So I thought, oh man, that's cool. That's when I knew that women's wrestling had completely changed. And Asuka is the same way. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's female and everything to do with the fact that she's freaking awesome.
All right. Thank you.
God damn it, Derek Cannoli! I'll kill you. You get him off the camera right now. Good job.
Just boot him for that one. Because he got
we could kick him out. You know, we've been waiting to do this for like weeks.
Yeah. All right, back to the
500 bits.
Back to the Twitch chat. So Ken Fouché will say, you are a fan of the WWF Superstar RPG. Are there any other wrestling-themed tabletop RPGs you would recommend? Also, what are you playing in your Friday night games now?
All right, well, tabletop role-playing is my favorite hobby. So this came out in 1994, and my group up in Auburn, New York, which is where I grew up.
Dustin wasn't even born
we
yet.
played this the first time we started it. It didn't go too well because we went like exactly by the book, and then we figured out, what if we change this, and this? And then the second time we started up, it ran a campaign that went for over 2 years, and it was a blast. We got a lot of characters, a lot of memorable moments, and role-playing game stories came out of that. So that was phenomenal, and I haven't recaptured it with that game since. I see what you just put in the chat. So another good role-playing game that you can actually turn into a wrestling role-playing game is the Street Fighter role-playing game. I have like a big folder full of character sheets and other supplementary
opinions of it. I agree with Streamlabs'
well,
opinion of it.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, Foxworthy, so don't even try it. So, but as far as a wrestling role-playing game itself, I've seen a couple. And WWE had Know Your Role, which was terrible. It was a D20 wrestling game. It was god-awful. And then there was Worldwide Wrestling Federation, which really, it took a different tack. It was really about more putting cards together. And I feel like it wasn't really something that should have been a role playing game. Like there's a card game called Book It, which is not as good of a card game as Super Show, but it doesn't cover the same territory as Super Show, and it's good in its own right. It's funny because I've got like 3 or 4 different wrestling card games, and they all cover different things about wrestling. You could literally mash them all up into one game seamlessly. But there's only Super Show really does the matches themselves. And the others, like one is like your booking matches, and the other one's your cutting promos, and it's just like it's very different. The tabletop RPG that I prefer is this one.
And what are you playing in your Friday night games?
Friday night, currently we are alternating between the Marvel Superheroes role-playing game and the One Ring role-playing game. I'm running Marvel. I've run it since 1989, so I'm really good at it. I don't need to prep. I can just go. It's a very simple system, and I've run it for a long time. My brother Henry, aka Jean Constance, is running the One Ring RPG, and it's his first time running a game, so he's going through some trial and error, but he's putting a lot of effort into it, and I really like that.
All right. Matt Custodian mentions that he met you at DragonCon, and he's always happy to see you playing.
Everybody's happy to play with Custodian.
Oh,
his fun is infectious. Everybody has fun around him.
Nepsilon is asking for a friend. Do you know how long French contracts last? Really random.
For eternity.
Candyman would like to know, Candyman Dan or Candyman?
Oh, let's see. I'm gonna have to go with Candyman because reasons.
I think that's the right answer. I mean, Dan doesn't watch the show anyway, so.
Faction Wars related reasons.
Yeah. Candyman would like to know what your favorite movie is and what other country would you like to live in?
Oh, my favorite movie is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I haven't watched it in a long time just because time, and I've seen it 50 times. I used to be able to recite the entire script. So sometimes you like something, you see it so much you need a rest from it. But that's still my favorite movie of all time. And then if I could live in another country, probably Germany.
Generally Wong would like to know. He says he hasn't seen you aiming for for a certain title, but if gifted one as a birthday present, what title would you go for?
So generally, Wong hasn't seen any of my promos, which is fair because
Correct.
like usually they come out when a bunch of people do promos, and nobody watches everybody's promos. That's impossible. The trios title is the one I'm always aiming. The tag team title is the other one I'm aiming for, but I don't really promo about that one as much because it's a little bit harder. It's like, what am I going to do? Just go out and start talking trash about somebody that we may or may not be playing? Like it's a little bit harder to do. Once things open back up and Jonathan and I would meet semi-regularly, you might see some tag team promos. But those are the two. If it's just me, it's the trios title or it's the tag title with me and Jonathan. Thing is, Jonathan and I are both currently have opportunities at singles titles. So right now we can't really go for the tag title, and that's fine. I'm happy to be able to talk about titles like I get a shot at one. That's pretty good. So.
Yeah. Huskus the Cow or Rambling Cat Sarah?
Well, Sarah ain't gonna eat my chocolate on me, so there you go.
Fair. Let's see. Ken Fouché saying to Streamlabs until someone goes back in time and erases Fatal from existence. I did mention I'm a time traveler. But yeah, I'm not even that powerful.
You're working on it, man. Listen, there's some costs that are acceptable.
Yeah.
Like if the Street Fighter RPG has to be the worst RPG ever to remove some things from the time stream, we might be able to negotiate.
Evil Man Custodian is even talking about how he doesn't miss Fatal at all. And I'm going to say this right here. This is probably the most I've ever seen anyone in one group actually recognize what Fatal is. And that's amazing. And the sad part is, I wish we lived in a world where no one recognized what Fatal was.
Again, we can negotiate. I mean, I'm willing to I'm willing to compromise on some things.
But yeah, I mean, I'd rather live in a world with Fatal than Street Fighter. But anyway, Italian Bombata says, outside of the line, what are your favorite new trios that just came out? I guess he's trying to
Oh
get
man,
some info on you.
So I was looking through. That's fine. I understand. I know what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Barnier Mafia is real good. I mean, if we're talking about the ones that just came out, the one I want is Bug versus Everyone. For reasons, just because it's hilarious. You know, I kind of want the higher class. Kind of want as soon as we come up on a consensus of what the name actually is, I'll go with the low rollers because I think that's what the name is supposed to be. Because, you know, Young Allergy's finally on a competitor. Need to keep that going.
He's Gucci, man.
And the trio version of the New World Order is also very interesting to me. So those are the ones I'm looking at.
All right. Yeah, Custodian is confirming it is the low rollers. Ken Fouché said he will pay Uberstar's back rent for him if he will go back in time and make sure Fatal never existed.
Oh, he won't do it. No, if he knows it bothers me, he'll go back and make sure that it existed more.
Yeah. I mean, there is a game that is actually, I believe, worse than Fatal, and it's not Street Fighter. But I'm not gonna actually give that one any time. Hold the line, Harry he didn't know that about that. He wants to watch Monty Python with you sometime. Fair. You should want to watch Monty Python with anyone at any time because Monty Python is very good.
Yes.
Hold the line, Harry would also want to know, why did you choose the monster known as Jigglypuff? What other Pokemon?
Why did I listen? First of all, I didn't choose.
Yeah.
Jigglypuff is the most evil, powerful being that exists. All right. So you got to understand that this is the dark master of all that is evil. Even Uberstar doesn't talk trash about Jigglypuff. You need to be very careful.
Jigglypuff actually created.
I just want you to remember, there used to be like this Las Vegas analog city in the Pokemon universe, and then Jigglypuff arrived, and no one's seen it since. It hasn't shown up in any game. No one's talked about it. No one's mentioned it. And the last anybody saw of it was Jigglypuff was like literally, basically literally assaulting the town. So just be aware that things can happen that if even the slightest mistake is made. And that's all I need to say on the subject.
Candyman would like to know who has the best facial hair in your faction.
Man, I don't go around rating facial hair. It's like it's like I don't know that I'm particularly qualified to make a statement. I know I believe I know who the most proud of their facial hair in the faction is. But I don't know. Like I'm not a judge of facial hair.
It would be the easiest one to choose, though, if you did that one. And also, I mean, to be fair, there's some of the people in the faction, some people in the faction you've never seen their face of, so, you know. Got that secret ninja going on. And yes, Cannoli is confirming that it's his mustache. Ken would like to know, how pleased were you that practice site is now in your hands?
Yeah. I am pleased.
Yeah. All right.
No, this is it's me.
Yeah.
I am hoping to get some I'm gonna send so mostly these are getting sent out to family and friends that aren't in the game that said, hey, look, I'm in a collectible card game, and try to drive interest, or people that I've already sent some stuff to and trying to get interested in the game. So that's mostly going to be outreach. I am sending my faction members one.
Yes.
But that's what my extra copies are going. Yes, Jeff, you're getting one.
Yay. I mean, I like practice site. It'll have to go into my portfolio of decks. Anyway.
And it's only going to cost you one foil director of opera. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. I mean, okay. I'm sure there would be people that'd be very upset to see me trade a director for one practice site, but you know, it'd probably be a fair trade. foil director of operations pales in the power of a director, and it pales in comparison to.
I also have. Well, I mean, I do have another card that's going your way as well.
Yeah, which is also sweet. Which is why I got the chance to buy a different trio because of that. Because I play trios too occasionally. Anyway, so Dustin, why don't you go back to some of your questions for a while?
Alrighty. So, of course, you kind of, the creating routine, of course, with Uberstar getting into the game and stuff like that. What was the feeling like getting, knowing that you're now like, you as in you're, are in the game and everything.
It's good. Well, actually, I mean, I had that feeling when Uberstar got in the game, even though he's
Yeah.
not me. I'm very
Yeah.
totally not me. I'm still like, it was pretty surreal. So it's pretty surreal. And the best thing is it's in a game where I could literally play as myself against like Rob Van Dam or Kenny Omega or Okada eventually. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. Having a game that blends like us and then actual wrestlers is really great.
I know I used to have a habit, which you just talked about, like playing Rob Van Dam and stuff like that. I used to have a habit of actually like, like when you're playing these cards, like you play something like say punch or something, and somebody stops your lead strike or something like that with something else. I picture the match. I used to do that sometimes. I'm like, well, I'm picturing my character that I made actually doing that maneuver, So I think it helps us use our imagination a lot of times as well. So
right. So I mean, my wrestling game history, like I in like 1997, I started in e-wrestling, which is what a lot of people used to do back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a text wrestling game. It's sort of a wrestling role-playing game, but not the same as tabletop, where you create your character based on application. You said what moves they do, what style of wrestler they are. You send it to whoever was running the game, called the Fed head. They would then compile matches together, and then you would write your promo for the match. And so it was sort of like a writing competition, because whoever wrote the best promo in most situations back then, it was more competitive. So it was basically best promo wins. And then they would all go and somebody would write up the match, and you would like read through the whole match, and it was your character and this other person's character. And so I did that for years and years and years. I think it was just a few years ago that I actually stopped doing it. So this is kind of like to Super Show.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Shane. See, that's number one on my favorite people to play Dead by Daylight with list. So Dilly gets pushed further back. He's like Dilly's like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I know Shane's name from the suites, so that always helps. But yeah, e-wrestling was something I got in actually late '97, early '98. Actually, it would be late '97 because I had web TV back then, and I stayed into it for about another 10 years or so before I got out of it, and then I dabbled back in, and some of the feds that I was actually in are still around, but most of the people are not.
Yeah, there's a couple feds left of the circle that I was in, but it's like, hey, Kit Kat.
Oh wow, Kit Kat Cadillac. Man, you're getting all the cool people to this channel, Jeremy.
Yep.
One of these days I should actually promote this in the Suites Discord, but I always forget to. I keep forgetting I technically can because I am a sub, but
You are. So to the long story short, there's a ton of characters that I would love to see on cardboard, but since only I would know who they were or their history or all the stuff that happened with them, it's not going to happen. But I always think about it. It's like, okay, what would this character be? What would this character be in Super Show? Yeah. So I'm trying to talk to some of the people, I'm trying to show this to some of the people in the e-wrestling community saying, hey, this game's really cool. You guys should try it. So hopefully at someday, because it seems like a natural crossover, right? It's like and I'm like trying to sell this. Look, you can cut promos via video, and it's way faster and way more fun.
No,
far less grammar Nazis.
In between the e-wrestling and Super Show, did you ever? I'm sure you tried, but like maybe Raw Deal, any? A lot of players actually come from Raw Deal.
I know the game itself, really, if you think about it, came from Raw Deal. I learned that at Dragon Con, but no, actually, With Authority was the only WWE card game I played that, and that was completely digital. That was I don't know, 2000-ish, 2001. I don't even remember, but I was really terrible at that. Yeah, I didn't play Raw Deal.
Just to go back before we get to Cannoli, because I know he's waiting. Go back to Kit Kat Cadillac talking about how great of a person Jeremy is, and Shane talking about how top-notch of a human being you are. We also have to take into account that if it wasn't for Jeremy, I wouldn't be in this game. Because, like, him trying to get votes for Uberstar is part of the reason why I paid any attention to it. Like, the game. And knew about...
Are you telling me that Uberstar did something positive? Don't tell me that.
Yeah, but well, no, you did, because you would say, "Hey, go vote for Uberstar to get him out of my house," and that's what we did. And then, like, that led me to meeting the New Jersey Coffee Junkie at PAX Unplugged, and then learning about the game. So in the end, anything I've done is all his fault. Only the good stuff. All the bad stuff's completely just me.
Okay.
Right. Now let's.
I mean, I just want to say Jeff Fox is a nice, kind person. He only put half as many rocks in the snowballs as everybody else in Philadelphia when he threw them at Santa Claus.
Oh man!
He deliberately missed JD Drew with the battery.
Yeah.
At least the first time he threw one. Yeah. Like, he's a real nice guy.
Yeah, you give him one free miss. But yeah, and like, I'm sure if you went back to the suites, there's probably a lot of times that Dilly probably wasn't happy with the way I would redeem cards on him. But other than that,
I mean, everybody that's what they do. It's like
you always have to torture Dilly. Dilly's the best to torture. Anyway, so let's get to the cannoli because he has another question.
Is it
Jeremy?
Yes.
What are your top 5 favorite video games of all time?
Okay, well, the order of the first couple are going to, again, change by the day, but Final Fantasy Tactics, River City Ransom, and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And then after that, that's a really good question. I don't know. Dead by Daylight might be up there just because of the people, and with Kat and Shane being 2 great examples in the chat, just because it's a game that I got to really meet people through. And so that gives it an advantage over games that are technically better. But Yes Man Custodian, River City Ransom was incredible. And it will be rounded out by Baseball Simulator 1000 and Super Baseball Simulator 1000. I just consider them the same game because they pretty much were. That's Nintendo, Super Nintendo era.
Right. Also, real quick, if it doesn't have to be top 5, but what are some of your favorite bands?
So this one, I'm not even gonna go 5 because I'm not much of a music follower.
You don't have to go 5.
But I would say Weird Al Yankovic is my favorite musical artist because I prefer comedy to everything else. Professor Elemental would be number 2. I mean, if you know who it is, you know, and if you don't, find out.
Is he steampunk?
And then after that, yes, he's a steampunk rapper from England. Yes.
Okay. All right, that's what I thought. Okay.
And after that, it pretty much blends together. I like the Megas and the Proto Men, Bit Brigade. I like video game music is kind of like one of my things. I like a variety of orchestral music, classical music. It's actually, that might be my favorite genre.
Little Wagner.
Yeah, Kit Kat Cadillac's opinion in chat about Dead by Daylight. There you go. It's a borderline trash game, but the people we play with are the diamonds. It's true.
Which also makes it fun to watch when you do get to watch it. Like, if you're watching Shane Wrangler's streams. Hilarious.
All right. Well, that's it from me. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right.
All righty.
So let me get back to that cut. I mean, comedy music. Stephen Lynch, always a soft place in my heart for him and his comedy songs.
Guys, write it down. He admitted that he has a heart. We caught you, Foxworthy.
I never said I didn't have a heart. I just never said it was. I never admitted that it was in my body. It's over
Oh,
in
I
the
see.
jar over there.
Well, all right. Well, that makes sense.
Next to my
He
phylactery.
mentioned a jar. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that many people wish.
Sorry,
they
again,
had-
shit. Sorry, I keep breaking the masquerade.
All right,
I
Fox.
wasn't Sabat.
We got a question in here from Nightmare King.
Okay. I believe we also have one from Edo first that I didn't get to, which is he wanted to know what your favorite anime series is, and then we will get to Nightmare King right after that.
So I don't watch a ton of anime. Pretty much anything in the Fate Stay Night line is my favorite because it was it's a long story about how I found out about it, but I played the visual novel years ago and I really liked it. And so anytime there's anything released on it anime wise, I look at it, and then Fate Grand Order came out, and I'm addicted to that, and I spent way too much money on that. So anything in that series would be my favorite.
All right. And let's have the Nightmare King pop on.
What's up there, Jeremy?
Hey, Mikey.
If you have any favorite SRG / LFF comparator that you want to use, who would you use in any type of tournaments?
Well, that would be me now. I just got me today. This came in the mail.
Okay.
So I have already built my first practice light deck, and I am looking forward to running that because there's no step that I'm bad in, and there's some steps that I'm stupid good in. So that'll be fun.
Okay, that's all for me then.
All right, thank you, buddy.
So back to the Twitch chat. Master
Problem.
Micah would like to know who is your favorite luchador and favorite Schmidt.
Oh, well, let's see. Any luchador that pays rent is good with me. So my favorite luchador would have to be actually La Parca, the original.
Okay.
And then my favorite Schmidt. I wasn't much of a Phillies fan, but they had a really good third baseman for many years.
They did. He also made good hoagies.
But for the real answer, you had to wait for it. It's Brian. Like we give him a lot of crap, but Brian Schmidt does a lot. He tries real hard, and he's always exhausted because of all the stuff he's out there doing. So he is my favorite Schmidt.
Now, Mike Schmidt was still the right answer, but okay. Mortimer Schmidt is actually the good one, though. The one that replaced Brian. More Schmidt. All right.
Yeah, Kat, this came out today.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And he's sending it to his friends, families, faction mates, because right now
I don't have enough to.
Yeah, it's so popular that they're not releasing them on the website yet.
Yeah, they're not. They're not even purchasable yet.
Yeah. It is a chase item at the moment because everyone loves Jeremy. So why? How else to get people to spend like $40 to $60 on cards with only the chance of getting a practice site? So to get back to Super Show, Ken would like you. Are there any singles competitors you are looking forward to acquiring and building?
Well, let's see. I played some games against Mark Perry using Rah-Rah, and I like and Rah-Rah is real good. I think a lot of people are going to look at the gimmick and say, "Nah, it's busted," but it's real good. But it's I would that's one I would like. I couldn't get her while she was on the site because I spent all my money on extra copies of Practice Site. I'm interested in getting my hands. I would like to try a Ken Broadway, honestly.
Okay.
That's one of the hard ones to get, and I don't think I would spend as much money on it as I could since being a long out of print indie guy. But it looks interesting. It looks like a fun competitor to build. It wouldn't necessarily be very powerful, but it would be fun to play. That's the kind of competitors I kind of like.
It can work in so many ways, though. I mean, I used to play against one all the time, and kind of like you roll a 10, or they roll a 9. It's good. Like, you don't want to use the gimmick so much, like over and over, but at key moments, it's actually pretty good. Like, if you know your opponent's fixing to play a finish, you roll 10 lower than him, or maybe even one lower, like a 9 to a 10, make your turn row 11. It can be
Right.
brutal sometimes, and it also depends on your build, but Ken Broadway is actually a pretty decent guy.
And lastly, the Uberstar commission, like this super exclusive card, and I can't wait to play it. The lead finish, I win, you must retire. Yes. I hear it's perfectly legal in ACCW based on what Hold the Line Harry's been allowing in ACCW. So I might have to try that on Saturday.
That seems true. Speaking of Hold the Line Harry, he's wondering if Dojo tonight, which, I mean, that's a different channel, but probably. There's probably a
tonight. I'll be there. I can't make a dojo order, but I have to keep the stats. So I'll probably turn it on and go play video games and listen to it in the background.
Yeah, I mean, you can still win free stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if I'll try to play and win something, and then like buy a punch if I do.
Yeah.
Literally, it would be a punch because I'm out of stops at 1.
That's fair. Kit Kat saying just send her a bootleg photocopy of the practice site card and she can put it with the others.
Eventually, Kat, I think eventually one of those will find its way to you.
All right. SRG Universes, why do you hate submissions?
Oh, there's just the one.
Yeah.
and all submissions like it. Just that one.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who's a big fan of submissions, I do feel personally affronted by it. But yeah, not as much as Kid Thunders, but.
Interestingly enough, there are 2 in-character reasons why Practice Site has that particular gimmick. One of them is because wrestling style, he's a big, aggressive wrestler. Like, you can try to put him in a hold, but it's kind of hard to do because he understands how to move on the mat. So he can actually use his power and such to escape submission holds more effectively than other big, powerful guys. That's why he's got a submission 9. The other reason, when the backstory gets released, it'll make more sense. He has a particular protection against things that could take control of him. And it has to do with his idiot roommate.
Makes sense.
It's all his idiot roommate's fault.
Hold the Line Harry meant, are you going to try to play Practice Site in the dojo tonight?
Oh, if I go in the dojo, I will be using one of these 2 competitors for sure.
All right. Both are big winners.
Oh, yes.
All right. So we are around 7:20-ish, which we started late. So we got about 20 more minutes left in the show. If people want to get some questions in the Twitch or in the Zoom room, feel free to ask. And we will go to Dustin's.
I guess the one question I should answer is I have to figure out how much Rod Newman's going to be fined.
Oh God, yeah.
Ooh.
So please be nice.
His contacts will help him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got contacts, doesn't he?
No.
That will be very helpful.
He does not, actually.
Oh, I thought he did.
Not out there, no. Just a heritage. No contacts on the wrong side of the coast. We were talking about WWF RPG rules and questions there. And I think everyone in the Twitch chat should support Roderick Newman because he did nothing wrong at all. He was just a very nice gentleman. Nothing wrong. Justice for a Rod.
We actually, for those who don't know, we are actually doing a WWF RPG campaign, and it's hilarious.
Yes, we play it every other Monday night, so we played it last night. And just justice for Hot Rod Newman. Anyway.
He's getting fined.
Yeah, it's probably going to be doubled now. All right, so yeah, if you guys got questions, post them in the Twitch chat. If you're in the Zoom, just let us know. Dustin, if you want to go back to your regularly scheduled questions before.
I got you a little question. So, you were talking about earlier with You Like Trios and Tornado, of course. If you and your roommate, Uberstar, ever made a tornado, what would y'all be called?
Well, if we ever made a tornado, I would be tornadoing with somebody completely different, and he'd probably be tornadoing with Jean Constance or Sean Loeb. Either one of them makes sense.
Okay.
Not with each other. No.
I just thought I'd ask.
I mean, it could be like a strange bedfellows. Or it could be
No,
you two sharing the same bed because you're stuck in an apartment. It'd be great. It'd be like Perfect Strangers.
It wouldn't be like that, brother.
Your team of rent control.
So
Intergalactic rent control.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
The IRC for short.
Oh man. All right. So we're still with you, Dustin.
Alrighty.
Young RG Tornado has no rules. I've even seen line members with a Crime Wave logo.
I know, right? I think they're alternate timeline.
The Foxworthy has no recollection of that.
I think it's the Cannoli and Foxworthy from an alternate timeline is what it is.
I'm pretty sure I've seen. I think I've heard rumors of what you're talking about, but they've been signed by someone named Crimeworthy, so I think it's a completely different person.
Maybe. I always thought it was the Cannoli logo, though.
Yeah, I mean, C is for cannoli because it's good enough to eat.
Right? See, that makes sense to me.
Except I don't like cannolis to eat, so not really true.
I've never had one.
Now, if it was Philadelphia water ice, it'd be great. True.
Water ice. Come on now.
A water ice and a soft pretzel.
It's all right. Not a pretzel I like.
Yeah,
water ice, it's all right.
The Philadelphia soft pretzel and a water ice are just a perfect combo. You can't be beat.
I've never been much on.
I had access to both of those growing up. We had we had a place that sold the soft pretzel.
Yeah, but it's not really a Philly
place that sold Italian.
Doesn't use our gutter water. I mean, it's like if you go to New York.
No,
it's not real pizza. It's not real pizza unless
cannoli is not the same thing as shaved ice.
It's not shaved ice, and you're almost going to get banned for even implying that. It's like when you get pizza, like you can only get real pizza from the New York area because it uses like the Hudson water. Like soft pretzels are the same in Philly, unless you're using like the Delaware and the Schuylkill. It's not really the same.
I'm just saying, I've been to Philly. I've had pretzels there. They were the same as the pretzels I had growing up, and they were good.
That doesn't. There are mass commercialized pretzels in Philly that aren't like good places. Like if you go to like a Philly pretzel factory, it's such.
You're just gonna move the goalposts forever, aren't you?
No, because there are mass-produced ones that aren't as good. But like the real ones. It's like a real cheesesteak. Like, you never had a real cheesesteak until you go to one of, like, the good places and not one of the fucking tourist traps. God damn those tourist traps. Anyway, Chicago pie rules. No. It's not a pie. It's a casserole. So, you know.
Oh, no, pie. It can be a pie. I mean, it makes sense to call it a pie.
Okay. I'll give you that. It's just not a pizza. All right. That's fair. Should have named it the Philly Pretzel Factory? No, thank you. They don't.
Ken Fouché has asked an interesting question. What do I find more useful?
The lariats or
lariats?
Now, what if you like lariat, Armenian, or Cosmics?
Lariats. Cosmics finished third on that list for me.
Ooh.
I like Armenians better than Cosmics. Although to be fair, I like when you have one of each and they fish for the same things. The same things being not your spotlight finish, but I like lariats better because I like shuffling my deck. Shuffling my deck is very good because a lot of times cards I like get buried, and then if I don't have a way to shuffle my deck, it's just like.
The problem is I love shuffling my deck, but my cards end up in my discard pile for some reason after I do it, so it's not as useful. I don't know why. It's really.
Weird. No, shuffling your deck isn't useful at all. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm not even allowed to build. I'm not even allowed to build that deck. It would make people angry at my house.
Is the airport one of the good places?
look on your face. So some week, if you don't have a guest, what you're going to do? You're going to rant for an hour about Philadelphia, about where the good food is, where the bad food is. Tell people about themselves if they had the bad food and said, "Oh, this ain't nothing."
Bad. You know, the best part about that is you get someone else from Philly who's from like a different section of Philly. They would also argue for an hour about all the best stuff because there are people in Philadelphia who will die on the cross for a Geno's steak or a Pat's cheesesteak, and those things are absolutely tourist trap trash. Airport. It depends on where you. I don't remember the cheesesteak places in the airport because I'm from Philly, and why would I go to the airport to get a cheesesteak? Um, like if I'm gonna eat at an airport, generally it's gonna be an airport where I went to, so I don't really like. It's not really much of a place to go for food, but
So the city I grew up in,
yeah.
we had a restaurant that was owned by this old Italian guy, and they made a cheesesteak where he baked bread. They cut a wedge out of the bread. They took the wedge out. He put steak in there, like cut shaved steak.
Yeah.
Smothered it in cheese, different cheese. Put the wedge back on. That was the best cheesesteak I've ever had.
Yeah. Well,
like I've never tasted anything like it, and I never will because that restaurant doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that is what a cheesesteak is actually supposed to be. It is actually supposed to be like a shaved ribeye, not like a steakum, like processed meat. It is. Some places use lesser quality that use sirloin, which can be okay, but like the quality places use shaved ribeye.
Yeah, I mean, I just get like shaved beef from Kroger, and it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but if anybody in the audience, but just coming off of work, y'all are making me hungry. Just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, now we're gonna getting the right rolls too, though.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get those Grubhub kickbacks.
Instacart.
That's how that works.
Let me post my referral link for Instacart so I can get like free money.
There you go. Free money's the best kind.
Yeah. I don't actually use Grubhub, but yeah. Too expensive. And annoying as all hell.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm in an area where most of the places I like actually have their own web ordering systems, so it's cheaper to not go through Grubhub and have to pay extra to cover their prices too. I mean, literally,
so there's a lot.
Grubhub in our area is actually the stores send their own delivery people out for it. It's not like in some places where like it's like an Uber where just random people will pick shit up most of the time. So it really doesn't save anything.
Where I'm from, we don't even have an Uber.
That's fair. I mean, I think you have to have
out
at least
out
one
in the family house
for it. Uber. Sorry.
Yeah, out at the family house, they can't get anything delivered out there because they're out in they're out in the boons.
Yeah.
So there's they got 14 sheep running around. The Grubhub don't deliver out there.
Yeah, it's not delivery, it's mutton. Yeah, I mean I know it's their pet, so that probably isn't the the first thing.
Well, no, that's Henry's pet. Rob can't wait. Rob's just like waiting for Henry to turn his back so he can barbecue somebody. But that's their debate to have.
And by somebody, I hope you mean the sheep, and not like someone at the house. I mean,
sheep have names.
You said
some of the sheep have names. They're probably the safer sheep.
Yeah.
The sheep that have names need to watch themselves.
That's fair. I mean, if it has a name, it's safe. If it doesn't, it's not safe.
So well, no, it's probably not safe, but it's safer.
So if you are the man with no name, do not visit that farm because it is not.
Well,
safe.
If you're a sheep with no name, probably not.
Wow.
They don't eat people. I promise.
Speaking of that, I'm kind of like, we didn't actually get the question of sheep or pineapple tonight.
We did not. There was no.
I've already answered it. Yeah. I've already answered it. It's sheep.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
I mean, if you put lamb on a pizza, I'd be all right, I'll try it. If you put pineapple on a pizza, I'll murder you. There you go.
Very drastic measures there.
Very.
Pineapple is a very classic South American treat.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like pineapple, just not on pizza.
Yeah, not originally from Hawaii, despite what people think. But yeah,
Dude, what other classic questions didn't get asked this week?
We got cheese and pickle. We got Candyman or
Pickle.
Candyman Dan. We
Yep.
didn't get like the whole rundown of each faction versus the other faction because frankly, there's only one good faction.
Breaking news. Young Allergy has been kicked out of the faction for 16 seconds.
Yeah, for liking pineapple in a pizza. See, the problem is,
And also saying I have Southern taste buds. I'm from New York.
Yeah, that's weird. It's been fun. Fox or cannoli? Well,
They're both in my faction. Why would I make that choice?
Yeah, and to be fair, he's going to choose cannoli because he's the one that would get upset if you don't choose him.
Damn, y'all have more qualifications than Impact did.
What's that? Oh no.
I said I was talking about where he kicked him out for like 16 seconds for liking pineapple.
Yeah, I mean the 16 seconds are over.
Yeah, I mean he's already back.
I mean I got to Impact his family entrance today. I'm like, man, but how long does this card actually? How long can it be used? And I noticed, as soon as something gets buried, the card does nothing anymore. I'm like,
that makes sense.
Sounds like Impact.
Yeah, once it's buried, that's perfect.
As soon as somebody gets buried, it's all done. They're all done with you. That's a fantastic. It actually is a really good entrance card now. I use it, but.
Young Allergy is pointing out that you've been in the South long enough that your taste buds have changed to a Southern taste buds. Is his argument, which is weird because he says pineapple and pizza is just fine, and he lives in the South too.
Yeah, that kind of don't make sense.
Further south than I am.
Yeah, like he's south and down because he's like in that Louisiana area.
He's so far south. He's not even south. He's down.
He's probably putting like crocodile and gator on his pizza. Like. He gets his food flown in from the west. I mean, I believe it. Have you seen that guy? He's all like Gucci and all that, man.
He has a Versace takeout bag.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, he's living that high life.
He's got like L'Oreal plastic knives and forks made with plastic grown in the regions of Malta that can only be seen by people with 7-figure salaries.
Yeah. So Shame is concurring with him that taste buds do change in the South. So that's 2-1, man. Just reminds me not to move to the South. Ken is saying he lived in Louisiana. They put shrimp on their pizza all the time. Shrimp is better than pineapple, though.
Yes.
I agree.
So, like, I mean, Uber Eats pulls up in the Bugatti. Yeah. Must be nice.
See, what sounds good right now, talking about like Louisiana stuff, is kind of like I wouldn't mind some gumbo or y'all got me hungry.
So first thing, Allergy, you're saying that you're all nasty for putting seafood on pizza. I would not actually put seafood on a pizza. I don't like anchovies or anything on it. I eat 2 toppings on a pizza: cheese and occasionally sausage. That's it.
Hold up. Hold the line, Harry. Are you advocating grits?
Wait.
Never do that again.
What does a British guy
He's
know
from England.
One, either cooking in general or grits. I mean, like, that's just.
I do not grits. No. Just no.
I happen to like the cheesesteak pizza.
Okay, yeah, cheesesteak pizza can be solid. Depends on how they make it. And
nothing wrong with grits. You say. What did you? I can't go after Wrangler with an edged weapon. I've seen what happens to people who do that. They get locker doors slammed in their faces.
Yeah.
I think I'll go after Harry instead.
Harry should be talking about fish and chips, not grits and what was it? Seafood?
Grits and grits.
That's just wrong. Yeah. Fish and chips, man. Fish and chips. That's the only thing the British are known for. That and spotted dick.
That's the only thing you're allowed to eat.
Yeah. You could. Yeah. You're from England. You could eat fish and chips. And
You're only allowed to eat like 3 things: bread pudding.
I'm trying to think. Do they make the good bread pudding, or do they make the weird, shitty one that has like blood in it?
Bangers and mash. There you go.
Bangers and mash.
Shame has the correct answer.
Yes. Okay, so they have a couple different varieties of food over there, but none of them are good. You can't handle the heat. Oh, fuck. What the hell? All right.
Don't talk about your trio member that way.
So shepherd pie is one of those weird things. I don't know about you, but for some reason around
Shepherd
me they put beef in it.
Yes.
And I will not eat it. Like, it bothers me that they put beef in it, so I don't eat it. Because it makes absolutely no sense to have beef in a shepherd's pie.
I wouldn't have it for lamb.
That's not where I've ever had it.
I don't actually like lamb. But, but like, it's a shepherd's pie. You don't shepherd cows. Like, shepherd's pie.
Cannoli, he got on a sidetrack about Philadelphia food, and it's over.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you get Foxworthy talking about food in Philadelphia, we haven't even talked about the story of the time I chokeslammed a dude in the Delaware River at the docks of Philadelphia.
Yeah,
we never even got to that story. That's the thing that happened.
Cannoli can ask.
We're not going to get into.
Normally, Dustin looks at the stuff in there because I'm usually checking the Twitch chat and I can't see both at the same time. But lower your hand. You've got something to say, Cannoli. You can say it.
All right. So we know your favorite food is cheese. What's your favorite kind of cheese?
Well, my favorite ingredient is cheese. My favorite food is probably buffalo wings, but cheese is my favorite ingredient. I would put cheese on buffalo wings. That's where my favorite cheese. I just like sharp cheddar. I mean, there's a bunch of cheeses I like. I like a lot of them. So I would say just a sharp cheddar.
What's your favorite pop? Or maybe
I don't drink pop. I drink soda.
The way they say it down where you are is what's your favorite Coke?
No, soda. It's soda. I'm from upstate New York. It's soda.
Well, no, I'm from upstate Ohio.
I don't drink pop.
Upstate Ohio pop. So, what's your favorite soda?
East Coaster, it's soda.
They don't even make my favorites anymore.
It's
Currently would be vanilla Coke Zero, although because of the aluminum shortage, they don't make that anymore either.
Okay, and another thing though is I know you're a big sports guy as far as soccer goes. Yeah, but as far as soccer goes, how'd you get into soccer?
Okay.
You made him run away. See, this
You
is
made
why
me run
Alec
away.
B says
You made me
someone
go
cares
get my
about
Atlanta United get.
Look at that. Look at that beaut.
Beautiful. So, when I started working where I work right now, back 2 companies ago, we got purchased twice. So a lot of my coworkers were soccer fans because they played soccer. In Georgia, there's actually a pretty good network. There's always been a pretty good network of soccer for both kids and adults. And so their kids played soccer, they played soccer, so they followed soccer. So every 4 years, the World Cup would roll around, and they were all into it. They knew who was on playing for what team. There were several people who were big fans of the Premier League. So there's one dude that had his office all decked out in Man U stuff. 2 of them actually. And so they were all very knowledgeable. And so I kind of got it from them. We would actually, when the World Cup happened, we would go into a meeting room and they would put the games up on the projector. And they would say, if anybody's got free time, you're allowed today, come on in, watch the game for a while, take your mind off work, go back. I miss those days. We can't do that anymore. Oh my gosh. But so over time, and so then when we found out Atlanta was getting the team, a lot of people were like, oh, it's on now. Now we're going to care about MLS. And I'm like, I'm going to start now. This will, because I've been meaning to, because I started following the Bundesliga because my family is German. I'm German. I tried to learn how to speak German in college. I can say a couple sentences well enough that people will think I speak German until I have to say literally anything else. So I started looking around to that, but then Atlanta's coming here. All right, cool. So I went in and took a risk on the getting a season ticket the first year, because they were having trouble moving the season tickets at first. And now it's like the Packers. You're gonna, if you want a season ticket, you're gonna be waiting a long time. So I was lucky. I got in on that first run of season ticket in the supporter section. I just fell in love with it. Like it was amazing. Mercedes-Benz Stadium's amazing. The fans are amazing. And we have an owner that actually cares and has a plan. And like most of MLS doesn't. There's like 7 teams in MLS that care and have a plan. So yeah, as it went on, and we got really good, and so I've been a season ticket holder and a fan ever since.
It's really cool. Yeah, I want to. That's one professional sport that I've haven't seen it live in person. I'd like to go see it.
So I used to be like many American sports fans. Like soccer, well, like what, 2 things happen all game? That's boring. But then when I started following, I'm like, oh no, this is literally the opposite of that. Because the clock does not stop. The action is constant. If you see people like laying around, it's because they're doing anything they can to get a rest. Because there's no stopping the action. So that's why that happens. And the games are very predictable. Hour and a half and you're done. Like, you're not sitting here through a slog. You're not going to be here all day. It's like the perfect amount of time. And the game's always moving. And it's great. And there's like some sports I can't even watch now. Like I can't watch baseball. It just doesn't work for me now.
I hear that. Yeah, I mean,
All right. Thank you.
football-wise, I mean, soccer-wise, the only thing I know about soccer is the Manchester United fight song. The one about taking the morning train, working from 9 to 5, and then find you waiting at home, watching Manchester United, the greatest football team in the land. That's it. That's the only one I know.
No, it's the greatest football.
Yeah, I learned it from watching Euro.
Objectively, we are no longer the greatest football team in the U.S. objectively right now. But I'm just gonna, sports fan, and say that we are.
I learned it from Euro trip many, way too long ago, and that'll always be in my mind, the greatest football team in the land because of that fight song. It's very catchy. Yeah.
Our fight song is pretty much "We Ready" by Archie Eversole.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have a team around here, the Union, but I don't really pay much attention to soccer.
Not too many people do for Philadelphia, which is sad because they're not bad.
Yeah,
but they're not gonna make the jump to the upper. They're like the team that's gonna just like not make the jump to be one of the real like year in year out competitive franchises. They'll be one of the better ones that don't.
Yeah, and they also kind of didn't help that they put the stadium in one of the worst areas around the city. But in Upper Darby, around there in Chester.
They make you have to work. They make you have to work for your fanhood. Yeah. You have to get here alive in order to watch the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not getting there alive you have to worry about. It's getting back alive. That's always the thing. But weirdly enough, I actually had some random message on Twitch Whisper from someone asking me, telling me that it's a shame that I'm an Atlanta FC fan, and I'm like, okay, I'm not. But
when? When? Just now?
No. Let's see. Let me check. The Whisper came in.
Who?
Some fat man 101 is real. Earlier today at like 1:30 a.m. I don't know. It was weird. It was just a weird message. I woke up. I saw I had a Twitch message. I'm like, wait, what's this? Okay. I guess it's a shame.
It's weird that you got that. I think I might know where that came from.
And it's like, oh, we should talk about football sometime. I'm like, or soccer sometime. And I'm like, okay. I'm just like, I've been looking at it. I'm like, I don't get this.
Shame, is that the dude from your chat? And he clicked on and he put in Foxworthy's name because I promoted this stream and that was the screen name he remembered. I think that's what it was. Yeah, he was looking for me. It's a shame. Oh no, it's on now. Come on.
Oh man.
It's a shame. Come on now.
That's great. Yeah. Uh,
Oh,
so I'm glad.
the next shame stream I'm on is going to be real interesting.
I'm glad you got the message then. Finally.
So
I'm
let me
glad.
promote shame stream for everybody.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
hate to see it. Oh.
Oh yeah, definitely promote shame.
Oh, you got me going now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a random thing. I had a feeling it had a connection to you, but until we started talking
Yeah, oh
about
yeah.
it,
You know it had to.
I'm like, what? Did it, like? It's like, was he? Did I
I mean,
like host
how
his
many
channel
people
or
are
something?
wearing Atlanta United on their Super Show card?
Yeah. But I'm like, wait, but why? But why do they think I'm an Atlanta fan? Like, I'm from Philly.
This,
Like, even if I did pay attention to soccer, I couldn't be an Atlanta fan.
last night I was playing Dead by Daylight with Shame and the Gang,
Yeah.
and I put in a plug about this tonight, and he must have remembered Foxworthy 257 and thought it was me.
Okay.
But so do with that as you will. But next time on Shame stream is going to be real fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe it was Fat Man 101.
I mean, you can't be arguing results.
Yeah. Fat Man 101.
I mean, maybe you could say it's a shame what happened to him in the past couple of years, but that's sports, man. That happens.
Oh, maybe I read it wrong. Hold on. I was talking with soccer with shame. Are you the Atlanta FC fan? Okay, never mind. I got it wrong because one, I was reading it early in the morning, and two,
Okay. No,
I forgot the Shame
All right.
Wrangler context.
I'm a little less in fight mode now.
Yeah, no, because
Shame Wrangler's name causes shame loves causing trouble. All right.
Yeah. Well, you know, in my defense, while yes, I know Shame Wrangler, I don't know him that well, and when reading that really quick, I'm like, oh, Shame. Wait, what? Okay. I mean, it was early in the morning. I think I read it at 5 a.m. Just getting up for work. Okay. So yeah, I can just get back and tell him no, he means practice. That's practice that you're talking about.
Okay.
And I will do that in a little bit after the show. All right, so we've gone a bit over time, and I know Dustin has an announcement. So is there any final things you want to cover, Jeremy, before we start wrapping up?
I mean, there's a lot that hasn't been covered. Like we didn't go through where Uberstar came from or any of that, but that's fine. There's life goes on.
Well, at one point we need to get him on the show.
Yeah. If you book him
definitely.
on, I will steal his booking fee and add it to his rent total.
That's fair.
But that will be for another day. I think it's time that Justin's got Justin. I'm
Hey, I've been called.
It rhymes.
I can always be called worse.
Justin Darman. Your new name is Justin Darman. It's gonna be your third card.
Justin Sharman. There we go.
Charmin Garmin. There you go. You're going to team up with Harvey Luster.
I can feel it. But Jeremy, I appreciate you being on, man. I know it's been a while, which we had. I know, like I said, towards earlier when we had started these episodes and stuff, you kind of got lost in the mix, and I'm sorry about that, brother. But I was just happy I kind of caught on to it thanks to Fox over here. But I'm just happy to have you on, man, and it's been a pleasure as always. Just talking to you and everything, and appreciate what you do in this community. But next, I'm gonna go ahead if it's cool with y'all, and I'll tell y'all next week's guest is gonna be Chibi. Also, what I was gonna tell you guys is I'm probably gonna be on a pretty long break from the community for a little bit. It's nothing, community plan or nothing like that. I've enjoyed like the 5 years I've been playing here. But I think I think right now I'm just slowly trying to figure out, things that I'm trying to figure out myself a little bit. I'm doing things outside my comfort zone, and I'm learning and trying to build new interests, and I'm just trying to really, other than the personal stuff and stuff like that, I'm just really trying to, find myself and stuff like that. And I think in this process, I kind of need to be away for a little bit. And which, of course, I was talking to Foxworthy earlier today. The show will go on. And, when I started this show, little idea, my main concept was, you guys, like anybody in this community. I didn't care whether you've been here for a week, you've been playing for 5 or 6 years, even 7 or any more, higher than that. My main concept was getting to know you guys, and I appreciate everybody that's been on this show. The show will go on, but here for a good while, it's going to be without me. I love doing this show. Don't get me wrong, and I love this community, but also I need to work on myself a little bit.
All right. And thank you, Dustin, for all the time and effort you put into the show. I mean, we really wouldn't be here
Everybody give
without you.
Dustin a standing O.
Yeah. Yep, and that'd be a good way to. I mean, stating stuff at the moment. I'd be off camera.
We support you, Dustin, and whatever you find when you go looking for you is gonna be good, man.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
Good, man.
But things are getting better. Like I said, I'm a whole lot better than I was. I just, I tried to come back into the community, play a little bit, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I was more kind of like I said earlier, kind of like I was on autopilot. I'm kind of trying to really, I'm trying to get that drive and stuff that I used to have because I hadn't felt that way in a while. And I'm gonna be away for a little bit, but I love you guys and I love this community as always. And I know the U.S. title division will still stay intact. I appreciate what Steve and all of them has done for that division, and and I've tried to have new people get shots and stuff like that, and earn shots, and I'm still gonna be kind of, I'll be on the sidelines, of course. I'll probably be in the audience, to be honest, but I think things are looking up, and things will get better. And like I said, I love the community and love everybody that's in it, and I appreciate it, guys.
All right. And with that, we will see you in the future. Thank you,
See
Dustin,
y'all
for all
later.
that you've done.